Okay, what's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. You too can be great. This is we're about to go over this damn interview that this Apollonia and Patricia decided to do with this female, Michelle. I think she goes by ATL Lean or or whatever. I'm not sure how to pronounce her screen name, but Michelle Brown. They were doing an interview with her. And I think this was like another form of cloud chasing. First of all, let me tell you what happened in the interview. So Apollo and Peter in the interview, and they're discussing shit that happened 4 seasons ago. When y'all know that Apollo had already been to the pen. He was in federal prison for apparently, he had a few charges with regard to stealing money and shit like that. He already served his time and came out. Peter, around that same time, was also going through issues with Cynthia. They were also their marriage was breaking down. At the same time all this is happening, y'all remember that Phaedra and Kandi were also falling out. Before that whole debacle happened with Portia, Phaedra accusing Kandi of some crazy shit that she would never do, they got Phaedra kicked off the show. So we're sitting up here listening. I'm sitting up here listening to this interview, and Apollo's asked, I don't know when the hell he convinced himself that he's the motherfucking victim. What he's saying was, y'all remember the season when he had asked Kandi and Todd to hold his, I think it was like an ATV or some of his property, to hold it at his house, basically stash it, while the FBI, whoever the hell was searching his shit, was trying to figure out more information about him and stuff that he may have hidden, because we don't know how deep of mess he got himself into with the government. So he wanted them to basically be an accomplice, holding his stuff in hideout so they don't take it away, maybe recouping some of his stuff to pay reparations for whoever the hell he decided to hurt, or to the state or whoever. And so Kandi and Todd held it out. But during the season, when Phaedra was basically, Kandi and Phaedra were already in a rocky situation. They were already in a rocky position because Phaedra felt like Kandi was not supportive when her and Apollo were going through a divorce. She felt like Kandi wasn't really present to help her grieve. And she also felt like Kandi didn't really hold her back and not putting her business out there. Because Kandi told everybody that Phaedra was out here trying to screw Mr. Chocolate while she was still going through a divorce with Apollo. At the same time, we were able to see Phaedra. Phaedra likes to keep her stuff secret, and a lot of times she is a little bit manipulative, and she's sneaky and she's secretive, and I don't trust her ass. However, when I think about her as a parent, you got 2 kids by this man who did not bring much to the relationship other than his fine self. And he had the audacity to go and get himself in this type of trouble, knowing that she's a lawyer. She's actually somebody that is supposed to have this highest standard of value and respect for law, because that's what she does, is she deals with the law. And on top of that, you got 2 sons, and they got to grow up knowing that their father went to the pen right after she married you. We all know she lied about her getting pregnant out of wedlock with you. She risked everything, including her reputation, with her family being that she's all sanctified and she a Christian. She didn't lie to her parents and told her that she wasn't fucking you before she married you, when we all knew that she was carrying a bastard child before y'all got married. I hate to say it, but that's just what the definition is. A bastard child is somebody who's not married, and she was pregnant with one before the baby actually came out. That's a joke. Don't take it literally, but hell. They had asked her when her due date was. Kim asked her when her due date was. We all wanted to know. She wouldn't tell anybody the truth. Then she tried to check Kim when Kim told her, I'm a registered nurse, girl. You're not about to have your baby 5.5 months early. No baby is ready to come out at that point unless it was some issues with the baby. And you ain't had no issues, so why you lying? Anyway, so we had all this mess that Phaedra tolerated to be with Apollo. And then you had Apollo texting Kenya and even embarrassing her from where it was just a disaster of a mess. So when all this shit blew over, Apollo sent his materials or some of his stuff to Kandi and Todd, asking them, hey, I want y'all to keep this hush-hush, keep my things. Phaedra found out about it because she felt like, y'all, Kandi and I met y'all first. Kandi, I met you first before Apollo came into my life. I met you first. Why the hell would you keep his stuff a secret and not let me know? But Apollo was putting it to everybody like, oh, Phaedra wants me not to succeed. He didn't even send, he was complaining in the interview talking about she didn't even send me a dime. She wanted me to rob. What the fuck is wrong with you, bruh? For real. You left me with 2 of your sons to raise by myself for what? How long did he go for? What, 8 years? By myself, which means that every day that they asked about your ass, I had to explain to them in all nice words, because y'all know kids don't even know what's going on. In addition to me driving them to go and see you behind bars, I didn't sign up for this shit when I married your ass. You were not thinking about what the repercussions will be had you got yourself caught in this situation. Not to mention, we're in the public eye. Your actions embarrass me to the utmost. every time that Phaedra runs her mouth, people can go at her and say, well, you married a motherfucking convict, bitch. We know. You chose wrong. It's something they could throw at her as a dart. You over here worried about yourself and acting like you're the fucking victim. I don't like people like that. Your actions have consequences. You're a grown man. You knew right from wrong. It's not like you're a 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15, 16, or 17-year-old that didn't understand the law, did something stupid, and got in trouble. You are in your 30s, and you chose to do something at that age, and you did not consider what would happen if your children, and Phaedra had just had their second son. He was young. Chances are he may not even remember Apollo when he was gone, because he was gone for such a long time. She had to raise those kids by herself without you, and she got to explain to people at her job why the hell she's a lawyer, but she married a motherfucking convict, not a convict that's in the past or has been, a convict that's in the present that just did more dirt. And you out here complaining that Phaedra didn't send me a dime, she wanted me to rot in prison. You wanted your ass to go in prison in the first place, so shut the hell up, number one. Number two, Peter used this interview as a shameless plug. He wanted to tell us, oh, I'm over here doing the sports one. I'm also, we're working on this show, ha ha ha. He's making him, I feel like Peter feels inadequate based on how him and Cynthia ended. We all know that Peter's business acumen is lacking because he has so many lawsuits and he has so many issues. And one bar was messing up and this, and this. He has so many tickets and fines and shit like that. Cynthia got fed up because she felt like her piggy bank was being drained by this man. All the quarters she done saved all her life is being used to invest in a bar that's not even profitable. You should have took a page from Cynthia's book. Why don't you become a business person for some shit you don't even know nothing about and hire somebody to help you boost that business? Instead, he wanted to do something that showed that he can handle somebody like her with a lot of money. He was on TV, had his contract, he was paid his portion. Now he's trying to maintain that bar, both bars, and he's trying to also go on we're talking about this show we're trying to get out. Peter, you are not a star by nature. We knew you as Patricia when you and Nida were arguing. Like, for real, that whole bullshit, I didn't even know why the hell he was on this damn interview, petty ass. All this stuff that we're talking about were from 3 seasons ago. Cynthia's out here trying to chill with Mike. She's getting married. She's engaged to somebody else. Phaedra is no longer on the show at all, but y'all are harping on shit. Now, Apollo, I get the fact that he said he wanted to be vindicated because we know that what we were seeing on the other end was Phaedra's side of the story. She made Apollo look like he was a useless man. She made him look like he was somebody that didn't give a damn about his family. She made him look like he was somebody that she basically threw him under the bus because she felt like she didn't deserve to be going through what she was going through, number one. Number two, I felt like she probably threw him under the bus because she didn't want her kids to grow up with both parents gone. Because when you are married, and Todd, remember in the interview, in the reunion, Todd was looking at Phaedra and said, your Apollo was in your house and you know what the fuck he was doing? He was almost insinuating that she must have been an accomplice to the shit that he was doing. And if I'm a lawyer, got a reputation of, I'm the person that says I defended Bobby Brown and shit like that, do I want to be going through this mess? No. Number two, I got 2 kids at home. Do I want to be in prison next to my husband when my kids being raised in foster care or by their grandparents? No. So Phaedra did what any reasonable person would do. You did this shit on your own. You take the fall for it on your own. Don't sit up here and act like I'm tarnishing your name. Now, I'm not a fan of Phaedra. I'm not a fan of Phaedra at all. Because I know that Phaedra is full of shit. She's two-faced. She throws stones and hide her hands. She's a good reader, yes. But Phaedra does a lot of lying. Whenever she speaks, she's a lawyer. She's a great lawyer because she knows how to lie and basically finagle her way out of things and not really give a direct answer. And when Candy was going at her for accusing her of that dumbass shit she accused her of, she had 0 remorse in her heart for what she did. And she bull-faced lied to Portia and used Portia, make Portia look like a dumbass on TV, claiming something that never really happened because she was jealous and angry. So I understand that Phaedra can be a piece of crap and that when she was telling us about Apollo, making him look some type of way, she was also going out of her way to make sure that we knew that she was not in any way directly related to anything that he did that would have gotten himself in trouble with the law. She was very clear about making sure he looked like the person who was guilty because she was not about to leave her children alone with no parent when one of them is damn sure going anyway. So Apollo's sitting up here on this interview making himself look like a damn victim. And didn't your ass get a girlfriend when you were in there too? Knock it off. You had your own money. You were over here what do they call it? They call it fake nutting, I think. In the pen, when you got men who get girlfriends from the prison that they're the ones sending them money and they come out and sometimes they're not stay with those, it's called fake nutting, okay? And he had one right there who actually made a pop-up on the show. Some girl, I don't even know her name. And so you had your way of supporting yourself. You were still hustling. Now you're over here talking about Candy and Todd were not good people because they went and made all the stuff I left in their garage, their storyline or whatever the case is. They're still on the show, so they have other storylines to create. You were not the the first choice of what they're going to use as a storyline. It only came up because Phaedra was pissed off about it when she found out, because she felt like they were doing something on the low. And so Kandi, trying to defend herself and exonerate herself while 4 or 5 million people are watching, put it out there that yes, we were holding his stuff because he asked us to as a friend. But let's be clear, the man's already gone behind bars. What the hell? You can come get his shit if you want to. Basically, like, come on now, boy, bye. I feel like Apollo should have shut the fuck up and not even done this interview. Because watching him, I don't empathize with him at all. I can say, oh, okay, Kandi and Todd, if they were really friends, they should never have brought his business out there if he asked them to keep it on the hush-hush. But Apollo knew that Kandi and Phaedra were friends. And if you're asking Kandi to keep something from Phaedra, you're the reason why their friendship kind of escalated and went overboard. They were already having problems to begin with. And then that situation kind of blew it over the board. Because now Phaedra feels betrayed. And for her to retaliate the way that she did, it was not fair fight. She shouldn't have done that. But you aided and abetted in the destruction of their friendship. And here we are. Phaedra's no longer in the show. What the hell? Like, you had a ripple effect of a disaster you brought in that woman's life. And you did not think about what you put your children through when you went behind bars and didn't consider it. You were a person on TV and you were dumb enough to go do that shit. How the hell do you think you were not going to get caught or get in trouble? Like, shut up. Shut up. He did this interview and I thought it was dumb. I think it makes him look even bad. I know people were in the comments saying, I'm so happy to hear Apollo's side and da-da-da-da. He has no side in my eyes. If I got 2 kids with you and I'm on TV and you still thought it was okay to do that because you thought you weren't going to get caught, and then when you did get caught, all my life is being scrutinized. I'm a lawyer, for God's sakes, and you over here playing the victim like you the one that's hurt, and you interfered with my friend's friendship. Shut up. Shut up. That's how I feel. On another note, we had Nene go and do an interview or whatever. I forgot who she did it with, but she said they were asking her, I think it was after show, whatever. They were asking Nene, who do you feel shouldn't be, shouldn't be on this season? Nene said what I was thinking this whole time. Eva should not be on Real Housewives of Atlanta, not because I don't like her or feel like she's entertaining when she is present. The key word being when she is present. The heifer's always pregnant. She's been pregnant every season that she's been on here. And the last few episodes, she only showed up on FaceTime. She's not been a really active participant in this entire season, so I don't see what her purpose is to be on here. We had the whole drama with her and her house and her, the custody issue, all that stuff. We had that as entertaining, but lately I haven't seen her in the last 5-6 episodes. She's been gone, MIA. We don't know what's going on with her. She just pops up on the phone, calls them to make herself seem relevant so she can keep getting the checks, but that's it. That's all she does. So Nene did make it clear that she felt like Eva doesn't really bring much to the show, and so she's being honest and saying that she shouldn't be casted next season. Then she said that she would like to replace her with Kim, but that Kim would not come, probably because of how she ended up with the show, showing that she was a racist girl. We all know she was, because she was out here running her mouth in the wrong direction, and we saw the after show when she thought the camera was off and she kept running her mouth. She's dumb as hell. So she went, and she feels like Kim may be the person to replace her, but she also made a good point. She said Phaedra could also be a topic, a person of consideration to come back to the show, aside from Sheree, because everybody on this cast have been forced to face the person that they didn't get into a fight with at some point. Portia has been forced to face Nene. Nene's been forced to face Cynthia. Cynthia's been forced to face Nene and Kenya if they got into a fight. Eva's been forced to face Kandi. Eva's been forced to face Nene. And Kenya's been forced to face everybody on the cast. Each person has done something that has trickled its way down to where they had to figure it out. And she feels like Phaedra should be let back on the show. First of all, it'd be entertaining to see her ass come back and see how her and Kandi fare. That'd be more drama for us. Yes, we can talk about it. Number 2, she feels like they should also be given the opportunity to face it. At the same time, Nene, I don't know what you're doing. Because when Phaedra first did what she did and got kicked off the show, you had another interview and they asked you what should happen to them. You said freaking fraud should be kicked off the show. So which is it? You want to trade Phaedra for Eva. But before you said Phaedra shouldn't even be there because of what she did. I don't know if Eva and Nene have completely fallen out. And so Nene's doing the same thing that I've seen her do for several other cast members. She's at some point, she said Cynthia shouldn't be on the show. At some point, she said Portia shouldn't be on the show. It was a whole bone of contention about that. Now she's saying Eva shouldn't be on the show. She also said Phaedra shouldn't be on the show. But then now she's saying that Eva should be traded with Phaedra or Kim. Girl, make up your mind, because now I'm lost. Anyway, please like, subscribe, and notification bell. Let me know what you think about the interview. Let me know what you think about Nene wanting to, if she was going to replace Evo, do you think it should be Kim, Phaedra, or Sheree, or even Lisa Wu? Who do y'all think should come back? Because I think that, first of all, I think Eva should stay. Maybe for what, at least till this season is up, and then we can decide how she behaves in the reunion. She brings nothing to it. She don't need to be there next season. But if they were going to replace her, who do you think should replace her, number one? Number two, let me know what you think about the whole Apollo interview if you've seen it. Do you think that it was right for him to even do what he did or say all the things that he said? Do you think he's even in the right for calling out Kandi and Todd for speaking on the stuff he left at their house, knowing that Kandi was supposed to be friends with Phaedra and he was already putting her in a bad position, basically telling her to lie to her friend to protect him when he's the one leaving her with 2 children to raise by herself for a few years. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Love you guys. Bye.